Yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks everybody for sticking around so late. Really good win for our program. It's good to kick off college football in 2022. Our guys had a phenomenal training camp. You were all there. I told you that. I think they answered every question we needed them to answer in training camp, and then you let them go play. And it doesn't matter who your opponent is. You've got to play your best football that you can possibly play. That's game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4. That's the challenge in college football. Can you play your best football week in, week out, no matter who your opponent is? And if you do, you give yourself the best chance to win. And I thought our guys were able to do that for the most part today. Played a lot of people, which we really wanted to do, and not in just the fourth quarter. Played them throughout the game. And, you know, we talked about how fast we are, athletic we are, long we are. But I've told all of you this toughness piece that we talk about, and that's not a macho tough, just this macho man tough. That's not what tough is. And, you know, can you be committed? Can you control your emotions? Can you challenge each other? Can you have confidence? Can you concentrate? And I thought I saw that tonight. I thought I saw a tough football team out there. And again, you're only as good as, you know, today. And so we'll wake up, change our best tomorrow. And got to give credit to New Mexico State. They only ran 33 plays, and they played their tail ends off. And we knew that was going to happen when we watched them against Nevada. They played incredibly hard. But I loved how our guys played. So, we'll find out here. We'll get our kind of injury report, see where everybody's at, and go recruiting tomorrow and just change our best and go to week 2 for a 1-0 championship season, challenge against Western Illinois coming up. So, but I'm sure you have a lot of questions, so I'm here to answer them.
What was it like for you to watch Mo put together a performance like that after everything he's been through?
Emotional. I'm not any of these players' parents, but you feel like you are, and you have a responsibility to be. What he's been through and what he's overcome is what Row the Boat's all about. It's what his faith is all about. It's the type of person he's about. A year ago today, we lose to Ohio State, and I'm not sure to the day, but you know what I mean. And he's sitting over there in the bed, and now all of a sudden, all the NIL stops, all the things that are coming his way stop, the NFL stops, people stop talking about him. And what does he do? Puts his oar in the water, rows, focuses on getting better, focuses on his teammates, does a coin toss. He was like perfect in the coin toss last year. Took over a completely different role, learned how to coach the running backs, not just be a running back, serve and gave to his teammates, and never made it about himself. And, we pulled him in, I think, somewhere in the third quarter, somewhere around there. He had kind of a number that we were going to give him. He hit it pretty quick and did a great job up until that point where we pulled him out. So, he was going to come out anyway at some point, hitting a number. But we also wanted to get reps to other running backs as well, and he did a really good job. So we felt like, yep, that's pretty good. That's pretty good work for basically a half. So, but he needed that adrenaline. That's what was missing. And you look at Mo run. You can simulate it in scrimmages. You can simulate it in practice. But when you watch, you insert adrenaline, and there's Mo, right? And I think that's good for his own mind, his own psyche. I thought he played incredibly hard tonight, and he gave to his teammates the energy and everything he had.
It looked settled. It looked like there were a few plays where, at least where his eyes went, it looked like the first read was deep, but they were leaving a lot of guys underneath. Is that some experience where maybe a younger guy might, heck, I'm going to throw this up and see what happens, but he was taking what the D was giving him?
Well, I think you're talking about a guy who's been through an awful lot as well. He's a 6-year starter. Lost his dad last year. He's married. I mean, this guy's got a lot of things going on in his life. I think he's got incredible perspective that he's earned. Sometimes you earn things that you don't really want to get, and sometimes you earn things you dream of. And he's earned a lot. And right, wrong, or indifferent, good or bad, he's handled them as a man should handle them, with accountability, responsibility, and leadership. And when you watch him go through his progressions, you could just feel Kirk speaking to him. You can feel it. He looks more poised. I don't like the word comfortable. Comfortable is the enemy of progress. But he looked, I think you used the word settled. I would say confident. I would say had a really good understanding of the offense, of what he was doing, what they were giving us. I mean, their defense is not exactly easy. It's like one of those little Rubik's cubes. It's hard to figure out. They're blitzing gaps from all over the place, shooting linebackers, shooting safeties. Very similar to what Bowling Green did to us last year. But I thought we handled it really well, and I thought he handled it really well. And the biggest word that came to mind to me is that settled, that poise, that confidence. But he should. He's a 6-year starter, and he's got a lot of responsibility.
How do you feel about Trey's play tonight?
We gave away 2 game balls. We also did a Title IX game ball. We have 6 full-time female employees that work for us. And our administration is grateful enough to allow us to really promote Title IX. I think our administration and University of Minnesota does so much for Title IX. And our female employees, our female student athletes, how much they actually mean to our administration and mean to our football team. So we want to continue to support that Title IX, that cause, those student athletes, our female employees at the University of Minnesota, and we'll continue to do that. And you asked about Trey Potts. So Trey got a game ball and Mo got a game ball. And the reason why is the same story with Mohamed. I mean, this guy, thanks to the doctors at Purdue, thanks to the medical team there, thanks to the medical team and doctors in Indiana, thanks to the doctors and medical team here at the University of Minnesota, he's alive. And not only is he alive, I don't have the stat sheet, he ran for a lot of yards and a touchdown tonight. And you never knew if you'd ever play again. That's what Row the Boat's all about. That's what Row the Boat's all about. And there's nothing by coincidence. He's from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where you watch these little kids accomplish their dreams and play Little League Baseball and Little League World Series. Nothing by coincidence. They both deserved a game ball tonight. It isn't about the yards, stats. It's about what they've overcome. And that's why I love this game so much, is because it's incredibly difficult. It's hard to coach it. It's hard to play it. It's hard to be the AD with it. It's hard to be the president with it. It's just hard to be a fan. It's hard to cover it. It's just hard. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just hard. And I'm really proud of what Trey was able to do tonight. And to look at those 2 guys smiling at the end of the game. Listen, again, I'm not their parents, but I watched their parents hurt. And you are a parent. Mark Coyle's a parent. We're all parents. Paul's a parent. And you hurt for them. And it hurts you just as much. But when you see them overcome it and have triumph, there's a peace inside your heart that, you're thankful and you have tons of gratitude for the people that help save their life and change their life and pour it into their life. So this is what college football is all about. Again, I might get fired for not winning enough games someday. Great. But this is why you coach college football. This is why you're involved in college football, because of the stories that are really positive, everybody. I know sometimes we want to focus on the negative ones and find, dirt and just find something to write about, but those are the ones. Those are the ones that actually change lives, not create gossip.
What did you learn about your defense tonight?
Oh, Joe Rossi's a stud. Our defensive staffs are studs. They're very smart. They give a lot to the program. They sacrifice a lot for the program. Their kids and their wives sacrifice a lot for the program. And then when you watch those players, they give everything they have for each other, for the staff, for the University of Minnesota. It's amazing. We rotated a lot of guys in there. I don't have the final stat sheet of how many players played, but you'll figure that out. I'm sure Daniel will have that here in about 10 minutes, right? And have everybody's heart rate and what they're, how many times the right hand hit the left shoulder and why that caused a negative play. And he'll have all that. But they played with relentless energy. They were incredibly focused, and they knew the game plan inside and out. And that's a credit to the players, because we challenged them. There's a lot of dead time. I mean, school hasn't started. You're out of training camp. You're practicing at 8 p.m. to simulate game time kickoff, and the day just goes so slow for 4 or 5 days. And they invested in the unrequired work on their own to make sure they were prepared. And I thought you saw a prepared defense.
Why don't you help the coach help the running game and the passing game?
I'm sorry?
How the offensive line help the running game and the passing game?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things we had to really find out tonight. What kind of O-line do we have? And we played, 6, 7 guys. Then we obviously put in our 2s and got them some experience. But I think we're going to look at that film and say we can definitely play better up front. We got to communicate better. But again, what they're doing is it's not easy. And there's sometimes 2 people in a gap. There's not supposed to be 2 people in a gap, but when there is, it creates a problem. Now, it creates an undisciplined issue somewhere else, but if you don't find that undisciplined issue, it can create a problem for the scheme that you have. But I love that they played incredibly hard. I think we got to play with lower pad level. I still got to watch the film, but they were engaged the entire time, and they were doing it for each other. We were able to do multiple things, with the inside zone, the outside zone. We didn't have the game plan off was pretty tight. It was pretty tight. We didn't execute on maybe 2 shots that we felt like we needed to. I thought the time in the pocket was good enough. Would I say elite? Probably not, but good enough, yeah. And I thought Tanner felt the pocket really, really good. And I think if quarterback feels the pocket really good, then the O-line's doing its job. There's going to be really good players around scholarship too, especially as we move forward. So we'll do 2 more.
PJ, what was the conversation like between you and Jerry, and why did you single him out, or take it upon yourself to find him before the game?
Well, that's a tradition of college football. The midfield handshake is the tradition of college football. That's way before me. That'll be way after me. I've never not ever shaken a hand of a college coach ever. Now, I told you I might have had to go find one in my past. That's okay. I respect this game wholeheartedly. I respect Jerry Kill wholeheartedly. Remember, I know you've all done broadcasts, and I've never said one thing, ever, right, negative about Jerry Kill. In fact, in my opening press conference, I said I'm a Jerry Kill guy, right? So what I told him at the beginning was, and I don't have to keep it between him and I, because I told him that. I said, thank you for all that you've done in my career. I said, I've always had the utmost respect for you, always will. And simple as that. I mean, this profession is a very passionate profession. And I know this. I appreciate Jerry's passion, because I know how bad, Jerry loves this place. And the one thing I'll say is, so do I. And I know how he feels, because I want to be here. And it's a very special place to me, and I couldn't imagine not being here. And when you're not here, and it's not by necessarily even your choice, it's a choice maybe you have to make outside of that. That can be really difficult. I don't judge people on that. I never have. And, so he's done a lot for my career. I wish him all the best. I hope he's doing well. I hope him and Rebecca are good. And I appreciate him coming back. And I told him, welcome back. It's good to have you back.
We have one more? No? Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Roll the boat, Sky Go Gophers. Thanks, everybody.